Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayam Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Parivachakachaya Ashtotarashata Shri Srimad Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namachaya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Seko Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Agyana Timirandasya Ganandala Shalakaya Tsakurun Militangena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistang Stapitang Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayang Dadati Svapadantikam Vande Hang Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kamalang Shri Gurun Vaisnavangsa Shri Rupang Sagrajatang Sahagana Raghunatang Vitangtang Sajivam Sadvaitang Savadutang Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vichangsa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Mancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, Hare Krishna. We welcome everyone who has come for today's evening Krishna Katha, which is our most important medicine. We hear about Krishna and thus we become inspired to do devotional service. So I'm begging blessings of all the assembled devotees that I may enrich your devotional service and Krishna consciousness. So, we are reading from the Bhagavad Gita. Oh, gibt es jemanden, der kein Englisch versteht? Ja, das ist was. Mataji, you understand English? Okay. Hitoji, denkst du kannst für Parampurusha ins Deutsche übersetzen? Ja, das würde helfen. Hier ist ein Buch. Okay, we are reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, called The Universal Form. And we are beginning this chapter today. We're reading text 1, and we will read the translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Arjuna uvacha mad anugrahaya paramang mad anugrahaya paramam guyam adhyatma sangitam Guyam adhyatma sangitam yad tvayoktang vachastena yad tvayoktang vachastena mohoyang vigato mama mohoyang vigato mama Arjuna uvata Mad anugrahaya paramang Guyam adhyatma sangitam Yat tvayoktang vachastena Mohoyang vigato mama. Would someone like to chant? Arjuna uvata Mad anugrahaya paramam Guyam adhyatma sangitam Mohoyang vigato mama. Okay. Arjuna uvata. Arjuna said, Mad anugrahaya, just to show me favor. Paramam, supreme. Guyam, confidential subject. Adhyatma, spiritual. Sangitam, in the matter of. Yat, what? Yes. Tvaya, by you. Uktam, said. Vachaha, words. Tena, by that. Moha, illusion. Ayam, this. Vigataha, is removed. Mama, my. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Arjuna said, by my hearing the instructions you have kindly given me. So Arjuna is speaking to Arjuna. Arjuna said, by my hearing the instructions you have kindly given me about these most confidential spiritual subjects, my illusion has now been dispelled. Kindly repeat. Arjuna said, by my hearing the instructions you have kindly given me about these most confidential spiritual subjects, my illusion has now been dispelled. Purport. This chapter reveals Krishna as the cause of all causes. He is even the cause of the Mahavishnu, from whom the material universes emanate. Krishna is not an incarnation. He is the source of all incarnations. That has been completely explained in the last chapter. Now, as far as Arjuna is concerned, he says that his illusion is over. This means that Arjuna no longer thinks of Krishna as a mere human being, as a friend of his, but as the source of everything. Arjuna is very enlightened and is glad that he has such a great friend as Krishna. But now he is thinking that although he may accept Krishna as the source of everything, others may not. So in order to establish Krishna's divinity for all, he is requesting Krishna in this chapter to show his universal form. Actually, when one sees the universal form of Krishna, one becomes frightened, like Arjuna. But Krishna is so kind that after showing it, he converts himself again into his original form. Arjuna agrees to what Krishna has several times said. Krishna is speaking to him just for his benefit. So Arjuna acknowledges that all this is happening to him by Krishna's grace. He is now convinced that Krishna is the cause of all causes and is present in everyone's heart as the super soul. Hare Krishna. So, one more time the verse, translation. Arjuna said, "By my hearing the instructions you have kindly given me about these most confidential spiritual subjects, my illusion has now been dispelled." So, yes, confidential spiritual subjects is one very interesting phrase here. And in Kali Yuga we tend to take things cheaply. Like there is we speak about fast food in Kali Yuga, and Kali Yuga, the whole Kali Yuga works in that way very much. The more we have cell phones and computers and internet and all these things, everything airplanes, cars, everything goes very fast. And when we do things very fast, quickly, then we cannot do it most of the time. When we do things fast, then we cannot do them very consciously. We cannot do them very nicely. And also when we study the Bhagavad Gita, or when we, in a more general sense, when we deal with a spiritual life, we also tend to do things very fast. And in that way, not very consciously. And in that way, we will not grasp or we will not be able to understand what we are doing and what we have. And we will not be grateful for it. So, Arjuna is here appreciating. You have kindly given me instructions about most confidential spiritual subjects. So that is such a nice statement. Arjuna, he is grateful. He was conscious. So one way to be conscious is to take things very slow and steady. Another way to become conscious is to deeply realize that one is in a problematic situation. Arjuna, he understood that he was in a problematic situation because he was on a battlefield about to fight. So and actually all of us also have our battlefield. We fight our own battle, individual battle in our life. There, maybe not with weapons, but there is a struggle, a daily struggle for existence. Like always dealing with the material body and the urges of the body. Tongue and belly, they always want to eat something, and we want to sleep, we want to have, what do I say, pleasing association of friends, and also of sexual partners of the other sex, and eyes like to see beautiful things, and so on. So our body and senses, they always ask for attention, and they always ask us, please do so many things for me. and there's one verse of Srila Rupa Goswami where it says that the senses will be never satisfied. So they always tell, bring this, bring that, do this, do that, and then you bring them everything, and then the result is suffering. So what shall we do? So, but still, no, we tend to give in very easily. So, and as much as we happily give in to that, then we are not conscious of the battle which is going on. We are already defeated. So, and the humble endeavor which we make is to say that, okay, from now on I will start resisting. And that is the difference between a fool and a person who is becoming intelligent. A fool, he is happy in ignorance. Ignorance is bliss. And a person who has realized that this is actually not beneficial, and he takes up the struggle to conquer his senses, then that is intelligent. But it is not so easy, because it is a struggle. And that intelligence, of course, there should be hope that this struggle is worthy. This struggle is something which will ultimately bring auspiciousness, happiness, satisfaction. And it will. That is what Shastra is saying, and that is what, as individuals, we have to realize, that spiritual life is a struggle which is worthy. It is all right to struggle in spiritual life. It is desirable. Because if we continue the struggle properly, then at the end we come to the other side. And it says that one kind of person who is happy is a fool. Like I just said, the person who is just very confident that, yes, I'm in a very good situation with my material body, material mind, senses, and I just give them. And another kind of person who is happy is the accomplished transcendentalist, the person who is actually situated spiritually. And at that verse it says, those two people are happy, and those in between, they suffer. And those who are not a fool and they are not a pure devotee, they will suffer. So that is our situation in the material world. And yes, so, and in one sense, as soon as we are confronted with Krishna consciousness, then it is up to us to choose very much, even before that. Ultimately, it is always up to us to choose again and again where we want to be and how we want to invest for that. Because Krishna, he is saying that I give you knowledge, I also give you forget. I also make you forget, if you like. So, and Krishna, he makes us remember and forget according to our own desires, actually. It says that it is it has been our voluntary desire to forget Krishna. And especially the process of Krishna consciousness. The material world is the universal society of Krishna unconsciousness. And it's a big society of Krishna unconsciousness. The universal society of Krishna unconsciousness. But within this huge universal society, Srila Prabhupada very boldly established the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So, and that is also what the Bhagavad Gita is for, and that is what we have heard here in the purport. The first sentence. This chapter reveals Krishna as the cause of all causes. If we appreciate that Krishna is the cause of our own very existence, of the body which we are situated in, He's the cause of our meeting each other and everyone in this world, the cause of all the trees and plants and the marble on the floor. He's the cause of this blackboard and all the paraphernalia which we have here to worship Him. And He is also the cause of everything that we can look at in this material world. He is the cause of that. So, if one thinks about that, one will become conscious of that. So, the Bhagavad Gita and Srila Prabhupada, they have given us opportunity to turn our unconsciousness of Krishna into consciousness of Krishna. And thus they invite us to take the challenge. Stop being a fool, take the struggle, become a transcendentalist. Become spiritually accomplished. Yes. And yesterday evening, I should I say it? Yeah. Yesterday throughout the day I was a big fool because I ate so much. Prasadam tasted good, and I had a lot of service, and I couldn't, how to say, align my mind nicely to realize I just have to run into the forest and chant my rounds quickly, or I have to take enough rest instead of going back to the prasadam room again. But I ate so much and many times yesterday, and then in the evening I couldn't sleep because of that. Like I couldn't sleep until like 11:30 or something. It was such a pain. And then, but the good thing was, okay, I had some time, so I was reading some Krishna book, and I read one chapter very much in the end, and it's describing Krishna, who is already staying in Dwaraka, and he's traveling to Mithila. And in Mithila there is a description of two great devotees. One is the king Bahulashva, and the other is a Brahmana. Maybe someone knows the name? Yes, Shrutadev. So one Brahmana and one king. And both are great devotees, and Krishna, it's described, he visits both of them at the same time. And he is accompanied by many sages, and they also visit both people at the same time. There's Vyasadev and his father, I'm not sure, but and there's Parashuram, there is Brihaspati, Marichi maybe was mentioned, I'm not sure. But several, Chavana, so several great personality sages, they are accompanying Krishna. And it is described that he is like the sun surrounded by the planets which are surrounded with the sun. Yeah, like that. Yes, satellites. And so they look very pleasing to the eyes also. And then they visit this, as I said, the king and the brahmana at the same time. And both the king and the brahmana, they offer prayers to Krishna and express some realizations and appreciation for him. And one thing which the king said, which I found very interesting and encouraging, is that, I don't remember how exactly he said, basically he said, I don't understand how one cannot be your devotee. You are always in our heart, you are always with us, you are our friend, and a person who turns to you, he will never suffer again. And I cannot understand how all these demons and asuras, how they atheists, how they are so stubborn. I cannot understand that. So I find that encouraging, because he's saying that it's so nice to be a devotee, it's so nice to always be Krishna conscious. But that is so wonderful, and I'm so happy. And I also had this realization while reading that he was happy to receive Krishna because he already had a good relationship. If you don't have a good relationship with a person, you will always feel uncomfortable in the association of that person. And so, and I was thinking as I was reading, I'm not ready for that. Krishna coming to my home and I will massage his feet, and I'm not sure if I'm ready for that, actually. So, but this king, he was describing, he grabbed the feet of Krishna and put them on his lap and start massaging those feet. So that's very sweet, because he already had that relationship and he was conscious, and he was saying that also like this. Krishna, you're the cause of all causes. You are actually always here already, and now you even are visible like this. And like that, this king is there, a great devotee. So he understood Krishna is the cause of all causes, and he's always with us, personally. So, practically for us, we can, basically if we have taken to devotional service, it means that we have decided to go this path, that I will overcome all my foolishness, I will take the struggle of spiritual life, and I will become a pure devotee of the Lord. And so practically, there is one thing which I may realize more and more, I hope so, which is that the importance of the spiritual master, or spiritual masters also, but persons who are actually already on this other side, who are already accomplished, and who are shining examples of spiritual happiness. Personalities whose everything about them just expresses that relationship with Krishna. And once there was one disciple of Srila Prabhupada, he was here, he was giving a lecture, and he was saying that Srila Prabhupada, every breath he made, every breath was only for Krishna. And one could see that in Srila Prabhupada. So Pure devotees, their whole appearance, their whole existence, their whole behavior, all their activities and words and everything that they think and express, that is always pointing at Krishna. And that is always an expression of happiness. And that is what we will experience in that association. And it is up to us to take advantage of such association whenever we get that association. And maybe also it is up to us to seek that association. Because this may be our conclusion. In chapter 4, there is one well-known verse which says that just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. And the truth is Krishna. Krishna is the truth. So just learn about Krishna by approaching a spiritual master. And then there's several points how to approach. And then it says, the self-realized souls can impart knowledge onto you because they have seen the truth. They have seen Krishna. And then the next verse is concluding our topic very nicely. Having obtained real knowledge from a self-realized soul, you will never fall again into such illusion. Like Arjuna said here, that my illusion is dispelled. You will never fall again into illusion. For by this knowledge you will see that all living beings are but part of the Supreme. Or in other words, that they are mine. So everyone belongs to Krishna, just like all of us who are here. And that is maturity of spiritual life and also of spiritual association. It is there is one aspect of that we deal with each other nicely, and there is another aspect that we work together for the Lord in Krishna consciousness. Actually, in Vrindavan, there's descriptions how they all Krishna has gone to the forest, and they all just wait for him, and nobody's speaking with anyone. Nobody's playing games together or talking about anything. No, they're just waiting for Krishna. It's full attention on Krishna. And also the first temple president, under whom I was serving here, he said that real association means real association means to serve together. You can, and there's a question of nature. So anyway, yes. So we serve Krishna together, being Krishna conscious, and in that way, everything is wonderful. So I thank you for your time and ear, and I'm begging your mercy that I can try to live up to what I'm speaking. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai. Jai. Would anyone like to add something or ask something? If no, then we wish you a wonderful evening in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.